Queuing up drill like Bally. Liverpool got smoked like Cali. Top performance from Eric Bailly. What? And I don't mean to be funny. Zidane Iqbal look like Xavi. Plus Malacia weren't too shabby. DDG crossed the goal line, so he overstepped his boundary. Jadon Sancho in a penalty box like how dare you found me. What? Like how dare you found me. Savage is little in frame, but he moved Marcho like Randy. What?
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. This your boy Fenzam. Today I'm joined with NK and Edwin, and we are going to talk about Manchester United's victory against Liverpool. Guys, I'm fully gassed, and I know this sounds shameless. I don't care if it sounds shameless because Man United got a bit of revenge, and more importantly than the result, I'm gassed because I saw a bit of Erik ten Hag in this team. Pause. But anyway, Edwin, how you doing, man? How's your week been? How have you been feeling? Like, what's
I'm
going
alright,
on?
man. I'm good. Just, getting on with things. Watch the friendly. Yeah, man. So we're going to break it down. But yeah, I'm good.
Jeez.
How you doing?
NK, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm buzzing. I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. But you know what? Because I was deprived from so much happiness with Manchester United last season, I'm clutching at anything I can. And that victory against Liverpool is a big one, so I'm happy about that. NK, how's your week been, man? I know you're always up to no good, always traveling or doing some madness. What was your?
It's been alright. It's been calm, man. Just preparing myself for United title challenge, potentially winning a title.
This is like deja vu, bro. This is like last season deja vu when we got Ronaldo Sancho.
No, but I'm blessed.
We haven't even had the first game. That's one friendly.
All right, so good. Look. We're going to keep this one nice and snappy as per usual. Well, not as per usual. I'm going to try and make it as per usual going forward. We're going to talk about certain things. We're going to talk about the formation because that was a question that needed to be asked. It may still be a question that needs to be asked going forward. You still may need to know what his true formation is, but we'll talk about it. His team selection, we'll talk about that. Erik ten Hag's influence and Manchester United's style of playing a game against Liverpool. Let's talk about that. We'll talk about CR7 and his influence and whether we need CR7. He wasn't present. And then we'll talk about just overall some of the highlights. Not every individual player, but some of the standout performances, good or bad. So we'll talk about it from the goalkeeper, defense, midfield, and attack, so we can sort of sum it up like that. But let's get into the formation. NK, look, yesterday, as we predicted, some of us predicted it may even be a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. We saw against Liverpool, we fielded a 4-2-3-1 formation. What's your thoughts on that, man?
I think it was expected, to be honest with you. We always knew that that's how he lined up with Ajax. United has pretty much been kind of like playing a similar type of like system. So it wasn't a surprise that he adapted the same formation. It really wasn't. But overall, yeah, I was happy with that. I was happy too that he actually played some of the players from like the previous campaign to kind of like see how they fit into his system going forward.
NK, before I even talk about formation, actually, how are you feeling about the victory? Let me just start off with that. Like, we won 4-0, scored 4 goals against Liverpool.
Yeah. Look, I was happy with the win. When you play Liverpool, you always want to win. So it was a good win, good way to start, installing like the winning mentality. But I still wasn't happy with the overall kind of like play. The build-up still need a lot of work to do. Liverpool kind of like caught us a lot on the transition to like on the counter too. So I feel like some of the wingers still kind of like need to work hard, like tracking back, and then they need to just literally understand their position when they lose the ball too. So there is a lot of work to be done, and the manager even said it too. Like there was a few mistakes that need to be corrected on that.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like in that game there was the times where we was exposed, like properly exposed, and I'm just thinking. Obviously, in the first half, Liverpool's team wasn't as strong as it was in the second half. I was just thinking, you know what? They had some chances where they could have scored, and we got a bit lucky. We looked a bit exposed, and we talked about this anyway. We talked about Manchester United probably getting hit on the counter-attack, because if you watch Ajax and you watch Erik ten Hag's team in Ajax here, they press very high up the pitch. They go full throttle in attack, and counter-attack may be an issue. But Edwin, anyway, Look, what was your thoughts on Manchester United's victory first and foremost before we go into the sort of formation? Your thoughts on the formation?
I think similar to what NK said, and even what Ten Hag said, they created lots of chances, which was good. But there's you can see there's a lot of things there's still a lot of holes. You can see the problems of last season, but you can see what he's doing to try and overcome that. But it's just about adapting. But then it also shows the importance of us getting midfielders that can actually hold on to the ball. Because what I realized, we need players that are actually good on, because the way he wants them to play, we need players that can move the ball around and are comfortable. But yeah, I think it was a good victory. I like the goals that we scored were the goals we conceded a lot last season when we were getting pressed and getting hit. So I think it was good that the forwards were pressing, because that's one thing we didn't see last year. The forwards actually pressing, because a lot of the goals came from mistakes from Liverpool. A lot of people say mistakes, but it's actually us putting them under pressure.
100%. I noticed that as a big change in terms of us applying that press in areas higher up the pitch, and it led to goals, man. So look, let's talk about them. Let's talk about Erik ten Hag's influence on the team then. NK, what was your thoughts on his influence? Did you see anything different? Obviously, we talked about how we've been exposed in the middle, vulnerable to the counter-attack here and there. But did you see anything in the 90 minutes that gave you any optimism? Did you see Erik ten Hag's style coming across in a way that play?
There are three things that I saw that I don't think I think we didn't really see last season. Yeah. And then the first one too was how we had a lot of number of players in the penalty box anytime we were attacking. You saw from the first goal from Sancho that when Bruno put in that cross inside, there was about 3 or 4 people in the penalty box, and we actually scored a goal as a result of the second ball, not necessarily the first ball too. So it was good. Last season you hardly used to see players in the box, but this one is. So that was one thing that I noticed that I enjoyed too. Second one too was the overlap from the fullbacks, especially Delon on the side. He made a lot of runs, You can say yes, a lot of because that's what your fullbacks are there for. They're supposed to kind of do those overlap runs. Whether you're going to use them or not, it's a different question. But he done those runs, which allowed Sancho a lot of the time to have one-on-one with his man, opposed to when last season the fullback would literally be in the defensive area, and then our wingers have to dribble past 2 or 3 guys because they get double up. So they kind of get stuck. So that was one of it. The third one too was the centre backs. They were aggressive, and they were literally pushing high up the pitch and following the Liverpool players. At times you can see Veron literally pushed so much high up the pitch to try to win the ball back. That was very, very interesting to see. And also Klopp alluded to Man United were playing a man mark kind of system. Yeah. So that was one thing that I enjoyed kind of seeing. That was the 3 key things that I noticed from that game.
I agree with you on a lot of those points, to be fair. I did notice, especially Manchester United's eagerness and hunger to win those second balls. Where we was piling guys up in the final third, we didn't really used to do that before, right? So like you said, we had multiple guys in the opposition penalty box, right? If you notice, Sancho, he got onto that second ball that bounced, where he was able to slot it in and it led to a goal. Typically, you only have Ronaldo or someone like that in the box by himself. Secondly, that goal that Fred scored, that masterpiece that Fred scored with that chip, again, he was in the right place at the right time, more advanced up the pitch, and he was able to.
It was a lucky goal, not a masterpiece. It was a lucky goal, but yeah.
No. The way he finessed that, that was straight R2 on FIFA, whatever you call it.
We'll give it to him just for today.
But the thing is these men are in those attacking positions ready to capitalize on opportunities like that. Besides the pressing element of their game, we saw Martial pressing, took the ball off guys multiple times. One of the chances led to a goal. Do you understand? And I think the counter-attack as well, that Bailly done when he won the ball back as well, ran through the middle of the pitch, laid it off to Diallo or Pelestri, one of them two, played their 1-2s. Look, this is all led from pressing, chasing down the ball. So for me, look, I'm happy with what I saw in terms of the overall gameplay. And I feel if that is what we're seeing from the first the first training sessions, the initial training sessions, and I'm pleased. I just hope that it's not like one of these one-offs, because I know Klopp changed his team 3 times in that game, and obviously like his top dons came on second half. I'm just hoping it's just not the fact that we're just more prepared than Klopp. I want us to see that. I just want to see a more competitive game to see how we do under pressure. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully that comes. Edwin, look, what was your thoughts on Erik ten Hag's style of football in Manchester United in that game against Liverpool? Did you see anything different to what you usually see? Any positives from you?
Yeah, because I think, okay, let's start from the back. De Gea was coming out of the box a bit more, trying to get involved in the game more, playing from the back. You know what I mean? Like, defensive wise, like NK said, they were actually very aggressive. They pushed the line up. They were like, Man United had a tendency, I think, of sitting back and letting players attack them. They were pushing up. And especially we saw that a lot when Bailly came on. Like, they were really pushing. And I think he likes, as you saw with Timber and Alvarez, he likes his defenders to be able to play the ball out of defense.
Yeah.
We saw Bailly do that. You know, when he had the assist to step over. Midfield wise, I think they tried, but I think it shows that we need midfielders that are better placed on the ball, because with the Mike Fred, they did give the ball away. There's too much gap between them. You know what I mean? But attacking wise, like you said, there's a lot of speed up front, and they pressed them a lot. Like, they were just like running riot, really. And one thing I like to see is that Sancho really seemed like he used, like last season, he was playing in his shell, being very cautious, but he looked like he had a bit more freedom. He was like, even just the nice little touches. You see Rashford being a bit more direct. Martial, you see even more, like, when was the last time you saw Martial for his goal, close someone down, run through and finish? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like the fact that even though we saw a bit of Bruno doing a bit of these passes here and there, like, you can see Ten Hag doesn't want players to hog on the ball too quick. So he was a bit more productive with his passing. Like, he still gave it away sometimes, but you can see he wasn't like, oh, pick it up, let me do something crazy. It was like quick transitions. Like, so I think what we did see was, Man United trying to like play the ball quicker, press more, and just be more attacking and like hold on to the ball a bit more. So there's some changes, because when's the last time we saw the team as a team press? We usually see players press. The whole team is pressing
for a sustained period of time as well. That's not common for our team. And you know, one thing I noticed was the biggest thing that probably stood out to me is that Manchester United made all of those substitutions, right? And not once did I really think, like, I know we scored 3 goals in the first half and only 1 in the second, right? But in terms of the performance level, in terms of the instructions that the players knew that they had to do on that pitch, in terms of like that, I didn't really notice like a big drop off in terms of players knowing their roles, knowing their positions, knowing when to run, knowing when to close down as a unit. And that's a good sign, because I look at teams like Man City, I look at teams like Liverpool and things like that. When you see them make these changes, you know that the ground philosophy is rooted in their style of play, and that will never change. And it filters through from the grassroots all the way to the first team. And if we can implement those type of changes where we can make those substitutes and it don't imbalance us so badly, then that's a good sign. You know, last season when we had guys like Bruno Fernandes not play, or Ronaldo don't play, or whatever it is like that, Varane, we look vulnerable. We look proper vulnerable. But this season, what I hope to see is that we can make those substitutions, but there'll be a certain baseline level of performance that we get from any player that steps on the pitch. And yesterday, man, I saw that, man.
But let's be honest, though. One thing clear about the substitution: if not for Bailly at the back, we would have been in trouble, because defensively, even though he's not a centre back, Tellers gave the ball away quite a bit. Like, I know Bailly done it once or twice, but Bailly was really clearing up a lot of the issues at the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
Bailly was a beast. He was a proper beast.
Yeah. So, but like you say, overall, everyone knew their position, and like you say, like, I think what's going to be important for this season with Ten Hag, he's going to have players he wants to play in a position, and they stay there, not just let me play someone here, let me play someone there. You know what I mean? So
exactly. Anyway, let me I mean, sorry, NK, let me ask you this. Before you, I mean, you can answer this after you say what you're going to say, yeah? What was your performance? I want to go into like the defense. Obviously, talk about what we said with the goalkeeper. Edwin's touched on that, was coming out more. I recognize that his passing was a little bit more, on the ball, like in that game. But what was your thoughts on the goalkeeper and then the defense? And we'll work our way up to midfield. And who was your stand-up performance in the defense?
You know what? I was very impressed with De Gea. Not only was he kind of like coming out of his box, but it was a passing, because I think there was one time tonight they passed the ball to him, and normally the old De Gea would have kind of like hoof it, but he didn't even hoof it. He actually kind of like played a forward pass. And I was very kind of like shocked. I didn't really see it the first time when I watched it, but when I went back to kind of like watch the game again, especially the first half, I saw that he was like doing that. Obviously, naturally, he doesn't come off his line, and he done a bit too much, so he kind of like pull a muzzle or whatever it is. So we'll forgive him for that. But so that was that too. In terms of the centre back, I was impressed with Veron a lot, because he's not known for like his passing ability, and he was one of the guys that was kind of like passing in between the lines, because when we were passing, if you were looking for any of the centre backs to actually pass into one of the like fullback or like find like your midfielders high up the pitch, he was the guys doing it, because Freddie McTominay was not necessarily like doing it. So as a centre back, he was doing it, because you can tell that going forward, we're going to need our centre backs to kind of like do that. Eric Bailly, in terms of like his progressive like passing, I don't think it was like the strongest thing about him to do, but he done better with like his interception, like his pace. Literally what Bailly normally kind of like does, like he does it too. But if he's going to be key kind of like playing, I think he still kind of like need to work on like his ball playing ability, in terms of like passing in between the lines. Like when you get teams that are struggling for us to break down, we're going to need like the centre backs to be making those kind of like forward passes. And I feel like that's one of the things that he needs to be, work on too. And also there was a time to where they passed the ball to him, and I think like he got caught slipping and nearly kind of like gave it away too. So those kind of like stuff he just kind of like need to work by overall. Lindelof, he done okay, but we always known him for his passing ability. But in that game, it's like he wasn't doing that. He's always like that. I feel like he's always like, he don't want to take the lead. He always want to be like the second guy. I expected him to like pass the ball more, but he didn't do that. Look, the midfielders, Fred and McTominay, I said if I had my way, they should sell them. There's no point keeping those guys at the club. You talk about when we have like a sub or an injury and someone come in and the quality kind of like drop here. With these two guys, the quality will drop. It will drop. If you have like a Frankie de Jong and say like an Eriksen into the team, one of them get injured and you stick like a McTominay inside, man, you go from probably like say like an 80 to a 20. Easy, because they don't want the ball. They don't want it. You saw in the second half, even those little kids, even though they were giving the ball away, you saw that they were not afraid to ask for the pass. They were not afraid
Zidane.
Right. They were not afraid to do that. Even Savage was doing that. Savage like, keep it simple. Get it, boom, play it simple. And that's what you want from your midfielder. So I don't really see that from them. Attack, no, I'm gonna be straightforward. Elanga, Ahmed, Pelistri, send them on loan. Go buy yourself a new forward, man.
Oh
no, because again, I'm using your own words.
They are like some of our younger, talented guys. Don't you think like Erik ten Hag could surprise you with one of them going forward? Remember, he's only had one preseason game with one of these guys. Don't you think like he could turn one of them into something? You're like, raw, like they deserve to be in a squad.
Five
substitutions.
They're not five exactly. They're not ready. You can talk about subs, but when it comes, look at the competition we're going to be facing. Tottenham are strengthening. They got Richarlison. So if Kane and Song are not doing bad, Richarlison is going to be their backup player. We cannot go from Rashford, Martial, and Sancho to Elanga. That's a drop in quality. We haven't seen them do it over a full season to say, hey, you know what? If there is like an injury, a long-term injury, or any situation, you guys can come in and do the job. We haven't seen this from this guy, I say, sell them, take them on loan, and go bring me Anthony so that we can have like 4 wingers. If you add Ronaldo, that's five guys that can rotate and the quality will be the same, man. This
Fair
case,
enough.
just send them on loan, championship, let them have a season so that we can actually judge what they can do.
Fair enough. Edwin, look, NK made some good points with regards to what I agreed with a lot of what he said with regards to like the performances of some of our players in goalkeeper, defense, midfield, and attack. I'll summarize quickly my ones after you, though. What did you think of our sort of David De Gea's performance, and then like who are the standout performers in like defense, midfield, and attack for you?
I think De Gea done well. He made some like good saves in the first half. His overall game passing play is looked like it's improved. Defensively, like you say, like
do you think that he always had this in the locker and he just weren't being told this is what you should do?
I think okay, De Gea's a smart goalkeeper, right? Like I think not a lot of people give him credit for his smarts. I think he only could play as well as the people in front of him. I don't think he's trusted his defenders for a long time to be able to pass the ball to them. Think about it. Like if he trusted, there's like I'm not even trying to get onto it, but there's a clip of remember when Maguire was open and he booted the ball.
He was coming.
No, but have you seen what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it's not even just it's Maguire, it's the trust. I just don't think he trusts them to pass it to them. Because how many times does he pass it to them and they passed it back to him and put him in trouble? So I think now the way Ten Hag is building the team, I think if they're better on the ball, it's better for him to trust them with the ball. You know what I mean? So I think we'll see improvements in that. Defensively, I think that like NK said, Bailly could get better with his passing, but overall, he was just a rock at the back. Like he was just clearing things up. So
he's your Vidic, isn't it? He may not be a Eric Ten Hag type of guy. I don't know yet.
We need that type of player where we're going to be under pressure. We need someone that's just going to be able to run, block, jump in front of everything.
To see out the game, innit? To see out the.
I think he done well. I think Varane done well with his passing. I feel like Lindelof just played it safe. I feel like them games where you're like, I don't want to get the manager's bad books. Let me just play it safe. So I think that's what he done. The new left back, I think he done well. You can see he's confident on the ball. He gave it a bit. I think sometimes he tried to do a bit too much, but you can see there's potential in there. We definitely need a new right back. Like we definitely need a new right back.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka was just Aaron Wan-Bissaka, isn't it? He just does what he does.
I feel like his confidence is gone. You could tell, like you know what I mean. Like he was a bit scary on the ball. I think Dalot is.
Yes, he's not good enough, man. This is not confidence. This is not good enough.
But it's a confidence as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Because there's no confidence in his play. Like he gets the ball and he's
too nice, man. Why are you too nice? You don't say the same about Maguire confidence, but Wan-Bissaka is confident.
Because let's be honest. Because Maguire plays with confidence, but he's just not good.
But Wan-Bissaka.
I think Dalot. There's a lot to work with Dalot. I think that fly is bothering you really, innit, Edwin?
Bro, trust me.
Look, while you deal with that, I feel like Malasha had a decent debut. Obviously, we want to see more of him. He could have got into the game a lot more. But what I did notice is that Malasha.
I'm back.
Okay, go on.
So I feel like defensively, like we need a new right back. Left back, I think we're sorted that. Tellez is very prone to making mistakes. You can tell, even as a centre back. Like I know he's not his position. Midfield, I think what NK said is right. Is like if we get De Jong and Eriksen, the drop is too much, and that's the same thing. So I see what he's saying about Elanga. Like you have to have a medium in between, and you've seen a lot of the big teams. Tottenham have got Perisic, they've got Richarlison, they've got the midfielder from Brighton. What's his name? Bissouma. They've got Benteke. They've got Skip. They've got packed they've got levels of players. Like Benteke, we have this level, and there's no medium. So you could tell, like, if we played against a stronger Liverpool, they would have destroyed our midfield. That's that pairing. So attacking wise, I feel there's so much potential. Like I think Martial has really got a chance to show and Rashford that they deserve to play. And I think if they continue attacking and pressing like that, they're always going to make chances because of their speed. I think Sancho out of the three was the standout in terms of like his play. Bruno didn't do anything too crazy to stand out and not to stand out. So I think overall, probably my standout player was Bailly. Like I feel like he really established himself in that second half. Like you knew he was there. You know what I mean? Like, little things he was doing to put Nunes off. He had Nunes, like, you know what I mean? Like they couldn't really like
So, Edwin, are you saying if we get a chance to sell Baye, we shouldn't?
No.
Why?
Because think if you place him up against all the defenders, who's better than him really right now?
But it's not it's not about who's better than him.
I will sell Jones and Twanzedi before I start thinking about Baye.
Yeah, because you know what it is? We have to be honest here. Like before, there's rumors of him going, yeah. But when you watch Baye play, yeah, and we saw him play, same way I said in African nations, we don't have a defender like Baye right now. Think about it.
It's not. Look, to me, he is a quality player. I don't doubt that. But let's just say Martinez comes and then he's gonna be there with Varane. Yeah, Varane is like an injury prone. He get injured from time to time, and if he was to get injured, and your backup guy is also going to be getting injured, to be honest with you, it's pointless if you cannot rely on a player who get injured. You know, like when he was playing, anytime he go on the floor, I'm thinking, oh, is he injured? You know, is he injured? So as a manager and as a fan, if you cannot trust someone to give you like a 40-game season without the injury side of it, it's always like a problem. And you either have a backup that you know that when you want to call upon them, they're going to be fit and ready to play. No, someone who can come in and just get injured too.
You know, I think the difference will be this season though, because of when the World Cup is played as well. So we actually need a bigger than normal squad. You know what I mean?
But what's the point of having a squad if the guy that you're gonna rely on will get injured? Because
let's be honest, Man United never really gave him a chance, really. You know what I mean? Like sometimes players get injured.
But he has had a chance.
I wonder if our training methods, our dietary methods, and anything that Erik ten Hag influenced.
That's what I'm hoping
has an impact on these guys.
But like, you know, the same way, like there's two ways. Sometimes players get injured more when they don't play, and some players don't get injured. Do you know what I'm saying? Like him playing more.
Some people need to play continuously.
But Erik Baye has had a chance though, so don't say he hasn't had a chance. He
hasn't really. Because, do you know why he hasn't had a chance? He'll play well, and then they'll drop him because Maguire will come back.
Before Maguire came there, he was playing. No,
I'm talking about even the last 2 seasons. Baye will play well, then they'll just drop him.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting though to see what Erik ten Hag does, because I think that he did give a good account of himself. But is it what Erik ten Hag is looking for? Because we can see with Martinez that he wants guys that are technical. He wants guys that will be able to pass.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting.
Is it going to be Martinez?
Should we buy Martinez, Edwin? Should we buy Martinez?
No, but wait. He's a good defender, yeah, but my only reserves about him is his physicalities work in the Prem. You know what I mean? Because he's not a big guy.
I
got one word for you. Go watch Ajax versus Dortmund, but man, see what he done to Haaland.
Okay, but you know what?
See what he done to Haaland.
Martinez is a different. We're going off topic. Because Martinez is a different. Obviously, the game. We'll stick to the game, and obviously we'll talk about players in the game. And look, do you know what? Martinez, when it comes to Man United, we can discuss that, we can debate that. Right now, it's close, it's looking imminent. But obviously, you know, we've got guys like...
Let's be honest,
we've got Edwin's boy knocking on the door next game, potentially. Maguire.
But that's what I'm saying. Let's be honest. The way he's already set up that Maguire will be the captain, Maguire's got a position there. So I think Martinez is more going to be that left-sided player that's going to be...
He may even play DM. This is the thing. Martinez, everyone, like, he could actually, at times, I don't think one player is going to be fixed to a particular position like that. I think, like, certain games, for example, you may see Martinez playing DM. Yeah. You may see him playing DM. You might see him playing centre-back. You may just see it. I think everyone's so fixed to this whole positions thing, brother. I think it could vary. But you know what?
If everybody's face is playing centre back,
look, time's done.
And Maguire captain doesn't mean he's playing, man. So don't try that, man.
Look, let's wrap this. Look, let's wrap this. And then, look, we got another game coming up. But till then, you know what? Let's discuss that. Let's chop it up then. But until then, guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.